Hello everybody, and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. Today we're going to be playing some more Final Fantasy XVI, and in the last one, we got to see what our mom's been up to, and it hasn't been good. We're going to go and see our uncle, and hopefully get him to join us, and to help us in our goals. Which hopefully is not only to do the Mother Crystal, but to also get rid of our mom. Because she's got to go. Annabella is destroying Rosaria. And she's an awful, awful person.
Dogs they are. You can't ignore us forever.
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep.
Better out there than in here.
Oh, good enough for
Fuck off. Hang you chinless bastards. Those crystals belong to us all. I said, where were you, filth? Back to your sties. Cut you down where you stand. Destroy it.
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
No answer.
As long as it is abandoned.
Black light burns.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Why is this entire district abandoned?
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
What happened here? You know, for all the crafting materials we're not getting any gear to upgrade, so I wonder when that's going to start happening again. Feels like we haven't upgraded anything in the last, like, 6 hours.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Well, they just sealed their own fates. Now they're all gonna die.
Or not.
God, they didn't even stand a chance. What the hell? Oh my gosh, we were so outnumbered, and they were so weak.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died.
Wait a second. I know who that is. That's, shit, what were their names? He was one of the guys that was helping our little brother. He survived?
Forgive me, my lord. I
Wade.
knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us.
What was the other guy's name?
It really is you.
It is. So wait.
Sorry for killing a bunch of your guys. But you kind of are a footpad right now, so... Maybe? Maybe he's not associated with the guys we killed.
We can speak inside.
Hi, Sir Wade. I was wondering if those two were going to show up again. I can't remember the other guy's name. I just remember them as Sir Chad and Sir Chad. Because that's what they are. A couple of Chads.
And
Bros.
those who wouldn't bend the knee?
But Chads.
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm.
That's very
She
clear.
barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else.
Count me in.
If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
Yeah, let's take back Rosaria. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Alright, this is awesome.
I suppose we owe you our thanks. You spared us when you could have just as easily sent us to the mud.
Okay, so I guess the people that we beat up outside we didn't kill. We just hurt them really badly.
You're telling me that's the Archduke's son?
In the flesh. Saw him once when I was your age. He had that same look in his eyes.
Allow me to tend to your needs, my lord. Will that be all? May it serve the cause well. I'm sure that it will prove useful. May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Hill have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Throughout the main scenario, Clive will often be joined by various companions who are keen to lend their assistance. However, depending on Clive's destination, they may choose to remain behind at the Hideaway. Okay, Buett Bridge. You ready for this? Let's go, Torgal. Let's go.
We'll keep them from the bridge. Don't you worry.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Okay, it's been a while since I've looked at abilities. Okay. Oh, so that upgrade gave us a third bar on that. Cool. I wasn't sure what it was doing. Just powering it up or what, but we got a third bar now.
Come along now.
The bastards are lucky on you.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
Oh, this is gonna be satisfying.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine.
from the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields?
They have no idea what's coming.
Then come! Die along with your flame!
For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight that battle for them.
More dragons! Worse. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Farewell!
More dragoons.
A
Cool.
noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point.
The Knight of the Lasting
That
Dark.
this land is in dire need of cleansing.
We need to finish this.
You mean finish him? Nice try.
Hell yeah. That felt good. That felt really good. Okay, used in crafting. Okay, let's go.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
Had to use one high potion during that fight.
It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps.
Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well.
Yeah, she'll make it worse. We
She'll
gotta
move
take care of
swiftly
her.
to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
All right, Wade. Wade is a good leader. Look at him go. Okay, our renown is now at 85. I think that was, I think we have access to another reward if we want it. How close are we to our uncle now?
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
He's already on our side.
Since the beginning.
Hell yeah.
Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience. Especially since you're famously dead.
Famously.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
Okay, the burnt blade.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
So did Tyler die then?
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
A loyal shield of Rosaria, who accompanied Clive on his expedition to Stillwind, though he did everything in his power to assist Joshua and Archduke Elwin's flight from Phoenix Gate on the night of the attack, his years of distinguished service were to come to a close when he was swallowed by the flames of the rampaging Phoenix. Alright. Well, we'll have to see if that holds true to the end of the game. Because Sir Wade and Sir Tyler were both right there next to Joshua when he awoke.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Alright, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago.
He was like, damn, he looks like him though, doesn't he? Looks like my brother.
For uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue. You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod.
She is so hot right now.
Thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
This is fantastic. Yeah, it's him, bro.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
What a great scene.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddo in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
This game doesn't have a lot of moments of levity, so that was a wonderful scene.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster?
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim.
But you're here, aren't you?
Until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
I'd say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass.
I say let's take back Rosaria, like right now.
This will be fun.
Is she okay? I don't know what's going on with her. When Monster was brought up, she kind of flinched at that too. And like, I know that she feels like she's been a monster at times, especially when she was forced to do awful things under the Iron Bloods, but like, is she doing
It's a
okay?
fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
I mean, I guess she's going back to where the Iron Bloods are.
Something on your mind?
So she's probably struggling with it.
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
This writing is good. This writing is good. Okay, well, we've got a path here. Looks like we're gonna go back to the Hideaway first. Oh, man. Here be monsters.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. but Vivian could probably make an educated guess. I didn't take you for a scholar, Ivan.
Oh, this? Well, it's Valisthea, a culinary pilgrimage. I borrowed it from old tomes. Seems there's no creature in the realm so foul it can't be cooked up into something delicious.
Think I'll stick to the unfoul ones, thanks.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, Sid? Honestly, one glance at these recipes, and even you would trade in your sword for a butcher's cleaver. From spit roasts to sweetmeats, this book has them all. What I wouldn't give to bring these recipes to life.
If it's my blessing you're hoping for, then by all means.
Well, I'm no hunter, Sid. The first tunnel worm I came across would be the death of me. But you're made of sterner stuff. Would you help me resurrect one of these recipes?
Something tells me you won't be taking no for an answer. Fine, I'll help.
Fantastic! Thank you.
So, dare I ask what's on the menu?
Chance's Stew. It was once a favourite among the gourmands of Oriflamme, if the author is to be believed. Though Molly's never heard of it. The only problem is that while the recipe is extremely detailed in most respects, it's infuriatingly cryptic as to the main ingredient. A beast, no doubt. Most likely something that would make easy work of a simple cook with more broth than brawn, but unwanted violets. I've no idea what they might be.
Does the book say anything else?
Well, only that the sweetest violets sprout atop the bed of roses.
Roses. Rosaria, perhaps? One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something. I'll ask next time I'm there.
Okay. Alright, another one with the plus icon. Now the last plus icon got me a chocobo to ride, so I wonder if these are like gonna give you some kind of gameplay bonus rather than just like experience and stuff. I wonder if that's what that's supposed to signify.
Deadlands wouldn't be half as bad to hold up bloody dust.
Okay, Martell apples. A somewhat stunted, somewhat sweet apple grown from the blighted earth thanks to the dedication and perseverance of one woman, Martell. Though she was to lose her life from the wound she sustained in Kupka's attack on the Hideaway, her legacy lives on in the sapling she saved from the ruins. Okay, so she did die because of injuries from that, just not right away. Okay, an apple a day. Lad from the yard ran up a basket of Martells just this morning, sweet as honey and crisp as the morning breeze they were. I told myself I was only going to have one, but I reckon if no one else listens to the old Otto, I don't have to either. You let Nigel and his lot know they've done a fine job. Was a time you'd catch none but Sid supping on these. What for their foul bite, but for him it never were about the flavor, but about what they represented, our ability to make it on our own. And look at us now. Sid would be so proud. Otto. A flame, none brighter. My Lord Marquess, I ask once again for you to forgive my men for your welcome back at the Lazarus, but certainly you can understand that you were the last person any of us were expecting to see at our gates. In the short time since our reunion, you have shown yourself to be the self-same man I followed into Stillwind those many years ago, a true bearer of your father's legacy. If only Sir Tyler, the Lord Commander, and all the others who were lost that night were still with us to see how bright your flame now burns. To you and your cause I hereby pledge the swords of the Guardians, and am proud to stand alongside you once again. Wade. All quiet in the Dominion. The Dalmex and the Imperials were at a standoff. They snarl at each other, fangs bared like slum curs, but neither wants to make the first move. It's almost as if they both realize what a stinking pile of chocobo shit they've stepped in. If I were a man to lay wager, I'd put my copper on this conflict not playing out anytime soon. I shall keep you appraised, Gav. Cool. Alright, is there anything new at the blacksmith? Nope. Okay.
Typical nobles.
How did we never hear?
There are new billets being posted every...
Clive! Oh, am I glad to see you?
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorne. He ain't himself. And if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up, but not this time. Something's getting him down. And whatever it is, he ain't telling. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? He's barely got enough fire in his belly to get the ump about stuff. But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear, because he respects you, innit? So, what you say?
Fine. If you think it will help.
I knew you'd understand.
But if he doesn't want to talk, we let him be. He'll open up when he's ready.
All right. Now, he'll only smell a rat if we both turn up at once. So, I'll go first, and you can meet us at the forge. Wait a bit, then head over when you're ready.
Okay, maybe this will open up something new with the blacksmith.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Business is busy.
Well, business is busy on top of my regular duties here at the Whisper. Otto has piled countless other tasks from transcribing and sorting Stolas reports to penning needful missives. Not that I'm complaining, mind. I enjoy writing. I have ever since I learned my letters from Yara back in the old Hideaway. I won't claim to have been his best student, though. That honor goes to Shirley.
Still.
I like to think Yara would be proud of me, too. Where were he with us today?
Words are immortal.
They live on in others, and if the words are your own, so too will you. Do you know who told me that? It was Yara, in our last lesson before Titan came. It stayed with me ever since his passing and inspired me to become what I am today. I imagine we survivors all have a story like that, of someone who remains with us even though they're gone.
Come to claim your just desserts?
Alright, pillow talk, we're gonna get a berserker ring. Such is the renown of Sid the Outlaw that much of my clientele would rather spend their time prattling on about your endeavors than making any endeavors of their own. For that, I feel I owe you at least a portion of my earnings, particularly a particularly enamored sort left this on the nightstand. May it serve you better than it did him, a busy courtesan. That's the dame, isn't it?
All yours.
Yeah, that's the dame.
All done?
She gave us that. Alright, let's see what that does. Berserker ring, huh? Temporarily increases attack proficiency with each precision dodge. Cool.
A part of me thought Drake's head might be the last crystal we ever cracked. But I'm glad I was wrong.
How did we never hear?
Typical nobles. I could have sworn we had a few.
That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Catherine.
First August, and now you. What are you pair up to? What's it got to do with me?
August was worried that something had been weighing on your mind. I thought you might want to talk about it.
Did you now? I told you not to stick your nose in my business. What'd you go and do?
Clive just wants to help, innit? What's so bad about that? Talk to him. You never know, you might feel better for getting it all out in the open. Please, mate. I'm worried about you.
Phil shut you up. It's nothing really. Stupid. Not the sort of thing you bother people about.
Why don't you tell us all the same?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows me what the competition's up to. Interesting arms and armor, things like that. Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Masterpiece of level work. Light, supple, and tougher than it had any right to be. Made my stuff look like heavy, clumsy shit. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. And now every time I reach for my hammer, I'm reminded that I'm not the craftsman I thought I was. There. You happy? You got what you came for. Now piss off.
All right. We're going.
Okay, maybe we need to find that cuirass for him.
I always thought of old Blackthorne as a bit of a force of nature. Like a storm cloud full of ale.
Full of ale. I
Didn't
love
think
that.
anything could rattle him. Least of all a stupid piece of leather.
Blackthorne's always taken pride in his craft. Questioning it means questioning himself. Something tells me this is only going to get worse. If he has doubts, it will affect his work, which will only add to his problems. We need to nip this in the bud.
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have bought that cuirass. Perhaps we should track it down for him. Assuming you're happy to help, that is.
Too bloody right I am.
Glad to hear it. First things first, then. We need to speak to Karen.
That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
He's not a monster. He's Torgal. And he'd take a liking to you too if you gave him as many nuts as Nan does.
Yeah, don't you call Torgal a monster.
Do you have a moment? Blackthorne mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass.
Oh, look, he's sleeping back there too.
Exquisite example of the craft.
I love
what
that.
he told us.
And he ain't been himself since he saw it. So we thought we'd buy it for him.
Sorry, sold it already. Didn't think Blackthorne cared for it the way he turned his nose up. But it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke who made it is a bit of an odd one. Happened across him on my travels. Makes all his stuff to order, but the fella who commissioned it refused to pay. He didn't like the colour of summit. So I took it off his hands for a fair price.
You don't know where we might find him, do you?
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd one. Doesn't even have a workshop. He don't trust hunters neither, which means he spends as much time out tracking beasties as he does working their hides.
I see.
He did tell me something, though. Apparently, his next commission's for a set of griffin hide greaves.
Here, there's a griffin on the hunt board. The curse breakers were placing bets on who'd bag it. Now, where the bleeding hell was it sighted? Somewhere in Sambrec, maybe? Caer Northern, that was it.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen. We'd be lost without you.
At least you admit it.
Gotta go on a hunt.
So, it sounds like going after that griffin might be the best chance we have of finding our roaming leather worker.
I'll leave the hunting to you if you don't mind. While you get on with that, I'll ask around the markets. See if I can't sniff out who he is and where he's hiding.
Good idea. Hopefully one of us will be able to track him down.
Typical nobles.
Ask about griffin sightings. Did I hear you say you were hoping to hunt down a griffin, Kupo? Then I do have a billet for you, Kupo, an especially horrible one the locals call Dozemare. Okay, Dozemare. While passing along the trail from Lostwing to Caer Norvent, One of our order was met with a sudden blast of wind so strong that it bent back the trunks of the old oaks, and heard a cry so terrible that he ran for his life. Questioning the locals revealed that this area was the nesting place of the elder griffin known as Dozmare, a beast much hated for its appetite for both chocobos and for children. Oh, lovely. Okay. Cair Norvent, Westgate, Sandbreak. Cair Norvent, Westgate. Okay. Rivergate? So, I mean, is it this one? The Rivergate? That one's the west one.
Good day to you.
Not sure if that's the one I need or not.
The crystals we get from the table. We haven't much, but you're free to look.
That's interesting. Increases ability points earned in normal encounters by 20%.
I hope it's to your liking. Good day.
I think I'm actually going to wear that. Okay, that's the right path. Correct? Correct. Yep, she gets her own chocobo. I love that. Can I pick up items still? Yes. That's it.
Be safe.
No, it's not. I thought that was it. Okay, nope, not back there.
Come on.
Good girl, Ambrosia. Good girl.
Thanks, girl.
It's over.
Hey, another one of these. I still don't think we can do anything with these yet. There's gotta be something later on that we're gonna be able to do with those, though. That's the second one we found.
Griffins don't exactly make for easy prey. Let's hope our craftsman hasn't bitten off more than he can chew.
Okay, well, at least we know we're in the right place. There it is. Okay, rank B.
Leather work will have to wait.
Vogel, look sharp.
No, 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 come on. Alright, that wasn't too bad at all.
Is something there, boy? Could that be our man? Are you all right?
Dare say I'll survive. That griffin caught me before I could get an arrow off. Must have lost sight of me in the grass, though. I'd be dead if it hadn't.
More likely than not.
The name's Camille. I'm a lowly leather worker, if you couldn't tell by the smell of me.
Not so lowly from what I hear. Do you remember selling to a merchant by the name of Karen?
She's not an easy woman to forget. Bought a cuirass from me after I lost my buyer. Quite taken with my work, as far as I recall. Didn't stop her bartering me down to a pittance, though.
Hey, she's good at what she does.
She sent you for a refund?
It's not her who sent me.
Well, consider me flattered.
You should be. He's a master of his art, and not an easy man to impress.
Blacksmiths are proud folk. It's a rare thing indeed for one to praise a glorified tanner. And I don't imagine an impressive swordsman like yourself would be getting your steel from any but the best. I'd dearly love to help a fellow craftsman, but... Well, actually, I suppose you could give him this.
What is it?
Treated leather. Same stuff I used to make that cuirass. If your man's as skilled as he sounds, he'll know what he's looking at.
You sure?
Well, you did save my life. And thanks to you, I'll be going home with all the griffin hide I can carry. I'd say it's the least I can do. Short of showing him how to make the thing myself, that is. But there are rules against it. Secrets of the trade and whatnot.
In that case, I'll see that he gets it.
I'd be much obliged if you would. Right. I've got some greaves to make. You send your blacksmith my regards.
Will do. And thank you. Hopefully this will sweeten Blackthorne's mood.
Alright, well, that part of the side quest is done. At the start of the next episode, we'll probably work on a culinary pilgrimage before we head back to the base. And then we'll turn in these quests and then continue the main story. So thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.